And welcome back. We are now joined by Dr. J. Barth of Hendrix College, our polling partner here at Talk Business and Politics. Good to have you back with us.
Good day, Robbie.
Interesting numbers. Let's start crawling through them right here. Let's start with the president's approval rating. President Barack Obama, still see him in some pretty low 30s here, 33.5% with his approval, 60.5% negative. Is he still a factor in Arkansas elections with that low number, or does the general election maybe pivot that whole equation?
I think it probably is some pivot. I mean, clearly, I think Arkansas Democrats have been anticipating his departure from the national scene just because he has been so challenging for Arkansas Democrats. That's it. He's certainly no benefit here to Democrats. The way he may be becoming in some other parts of the country where his approval ratings really have risen fairly significantly into positive turf. In Arkansas, he's clearly still a negative. The question is, to what degree can that negativity be taken advantage of the way it has been the last few cycles very clearly by Republicans?
I always call it the Republicans have thrown that fastball pitch of Obama and everything. The Democrats still haven't had a great answer for it, so it's been very effective, and they'll probably keep using it till it's not. So let's pivot to our general election matchup here. We've got Hillary Clinton at 36%, Donald Trump at 47%, the Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson at 8%, just 9% undecided. Bill Clinton's popularity in Arkansas, which we've polled before, which is pretty high, does not translate to Hillary Clinton.
It doesn't. I mean, I think Hillary Clinton is somebody who is now a national Democrat. She is not only a national Democrat, but someone who is very tied to the president, who is unpopular here. I think it's obviously been 25 years since she was spending significant time in Arkansas. So she's clearly no longer an Arkansan in the sense of this race. I do think that we are seeing that Trump is underperforming the last couple of presidential candidates, Republican presidential candidates in Arkansas. She is not taking advantage of any of that lost steam for Trump. In fact, what we see is Gary Johnson actually getting the benefit of that. Now, is he pretty much a none of the above kind of candidate? We have some other polling that indicates that may well be the case. The question is, does Johnson kind of stay that high, or, as we often see with third-party candidates, as the campaign goes along, does that souffle start to go back down a little bit, and those voters have to make a decision which way to go? And we don't have a lot of indication of exactly what way they would go.
So this is an 11-point gap right now. You've indicated Donald Trump underperforming here in Arkansas based on previous candidates. Do you see any room for those numbers to close? Could this general election see Hillary Clinton rise in Arkansans' attitudes and Donald Trump fall a little bit more? Do you think Trump maybe gets a little bit more of the momentum that we've seen in previous Republican presidential candidates?
I think probably, I think we don't know. I think that all indication are that Hillary Clinton may perform better than Obama did the last couple of cycles, actually maybe a few points better. I think there's a lot of signs that Trump's going to perform worse than previous Republican candidates. The big question is, what of that vote goes back to Trump or comes back to a third-party candidate? Right. And I think that's really the big question. I think it's going to be a closer race. It could be a single-digit race in Arkansas if Johnson voters and undecided voters ended up kind of going ahead and moving to Clinton. But I think all odds are that this is going to be a Republican victory, and a fairly healthy Republican victory, but not one that has the kind of mammoth size that the last couple of cycles have had.
So we put another interesting question in here about, are you voting for your candidate, are you voting against a candidate, or is it a combination of both? Depends on how you want to slice this answer. You could say 1 in 5 are voting against a candidate, or you could say a little over 50% are either voting against a candidate or voting for some combination. How do you see that glass? Is it half full, half empty? What's your interpretation of that result?
I think it very much depends on the candidate. I think that Gary Johnson's vote is almost entirely a vote against the other candidates, with a little bit of libertarianism thrown in, true believers thrown in, but I think it's very decidedly. Hillary Clinton, somewhat surprisingly, about 60% of her voters say they're voting for her and not against others. I think the surprise was that a lot of the Trump vote is is vote against another candidate. Of course, that would be Hillary Clinton in this case. That was a little bit of a surprise. I thought that the Trump enthusiasm is, I think, still a little bit of a challenge here in Arkansas. We saw that in the primary. This was a state that, where, he underperformed compared to other southern states, and a lot of Republican leadership really was on the other team, mainly on the Rubio team, but then also some Cruz support as well. So he's still got some challenges, I think, in terms of enthusiasm, but he's got a larger base to build from.
All right, Jay Barth with Hendrix College. Great stuff as always. We've got a lot more polling results coming out later on in the week, and we're going to do a web extra so folks can actually catch your analysis about midweek on that. So thank you for being here. Appreciate it.